Why do we tolerate inequality despite its negative consequences on our lives and those of others? One of the key reasons why inequality is sustained in contemporary societies is because of our shared expectations of the economy as being a level playing field. We often think of the economy, markets, and economic institutions as being relatively unbiased. In these settings, competition allows those who place the most efforts in their tasks to rise to the top. The idea that the economy, and indeed society at large, is a meritocracy is something that is instituted across a number of fields, from innovation and education to corporations and government. However, the economy isn't necessarily as meritocratic as we assume it is. On the contrary, the distribution of rewards in the economy often reflects very specific moralized views of the world. You can think about this through a very simple exercise. If I ask you, who deserves to be poor, the question sounds initially abhorrent. However, when you pursue the question of who deserves poverty, people will often recur to moralized visions of individuals that explain away inequalities we observe in the real world. People will say such things as, poor people simply did not work hard enough, or they didn't put enough effort into their education, or they simply did not pull themselves up by their bootstraps and attain what they could have attained. These moralized repertoires, these ways of thinking about others in ethical and moral terms, are deeply tied to our ideas of meritocracy. And by reproducing them in social life, we reproduce also inequalities in the economy. This is not to say that we do this on purpose. Indeed, the way we justify our economic realities and the inequality we observe in it is tied directly to how we make sense of our peers, our colleagues, our friendships, our families, and our situation in life. The ways these forms of sense-making operate can be very complex, but they can also be very simple, as is revealed by some of the papers for this week. One of the examples provided this week concerns labor markets, which have very specific and important biases in how they select and reward certain individuals that reproduce inequalities both within and across organizations. The work by Lauren Rivera, specifically, shows how organizations decide to recruit individuals that show some level of fit with their existing teams. Fit, however, isn't something that is measured objectively, but rather derives from how individuals in the interview and recruitment process evaluate potential hires in terms of the cultural and social similarities they have with the existing members of the organization. This is independently of credentials, that is, independently of notions of meritocracy. What matters is not if people did well or not in college, if they were successful or not in their careers. One of the mechanisms through which organizations decide who they will hire is through the idea of who might fit best with the existing team.